Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Please subscribe if you like. There's over 1,100 audios for you to check out. Also, if you need relationship, business, or entertainment coaching, go to my main channel, Golden Opportunities Coaching, and we can set something up that way. As well, probably the last WrestleMania, or Wrestling Challenge view for a little bit here. As I think this is the last of what I have available to offer. But we've got literally dozens of those episodes and various other challenges there. Certainly, without a doubt, it's an interesting time to be a fan in any event. 7/3, July 3rd, 1993, right before the 4th of July of 1993. An interesting time in wrestling history, certainly one of the last few years of the WrestleMania or Wrestling Challenge franchise, as they are out of business, out of circulation by 1995, but still strong here. This is an international feed that I have, so a little awkward. Jim Duggan gives a heartfelt promo, which doesn't make sense in context with the fact that I'm watching a German feed. Maybe they just fed it in and didn't think it through. But anyway, he apologizes for letting his country down, letting his family down, letting his wife down, letting the fans down, for getting destroyed by Yokozuna in previous weeks. He was laid up for a while. Speaking of Yokozuna, he is the first combatant of the day. Mr. Fuji is here. He, of course, Yoko, that is, a former WWF champion for a few seconds as he wanders around. Big Uranagi suplex and a leg drop and the bonsai drop here. Fuji, of course, a major supporter of Yoko at the time. Then we move to Dan Fern and a couple of other people against the Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott. Steiner's really never fully caught on in WWF to me. I mean, I know they're tag team champions, but they were there for just over a year, perhaps, and a couple of tag team title reigns. But in comparison to what they did in WCW / the NWA in Japan, certainly much, much more respected there. Scott Steiner starts off with one of the enhancement talents who's wearing a mask, folds him up with a suplex, and would not want to be on the receiving end of a Steiner suplex for any amount of money in all the world. Steiner, pulls his man back into the other corner and takes the limp hand of his opponent and forces a tag. Rick Steiner comes in, hits some elbow drops after a Steiner line, among other things. Rick Steiner's certainly not a guy that you want to necessarily take a backward step from if you can help it. Scott hits the Steiner line and a Frankensteiner and gets a victory for his team and his brother and his family pride, one would assume. Owen Hart up next. Owen Hart still doing the Rocket Owen Hart deal here in early or summer '93, wearing just a really weird, checkered jacket and the like, with weird looking suspenders for the trouble. Of course, Hart turns in time for the beginning, right after the beginning of 1994, right around January or so. Actually, at the Royal Rumble '94. Hart, with the go behind basic wrestling stuff, hammerlocks and the like, takes the man down, doesn't really get everything he wants on it, but gets enough. Needless to say, Owen Hart is, in fact, satisfied with what's going on at the time, but certainly wants more. Enziguri by Hart gets his man up and in a good run. Big back body drop out of the corner. Hart goes to the top rope. At the time, still doing, I believe, the high energy thing with Coco Ware as well, but giving him a singles match here. Cross body off the top rope. 1, 2, 3, and Owen Hart victorious there. Lex Luger, the narcissist, who is still doing the heel thing, about a month away from the turn that would lead him to the Lex Express and the wars with Yokozuna, but there's no hint of it here. Doing the full-length mirror deal and the run of it. Anyway, kind of seeing things as they are. Luger doesn't want to do anything more than he absolutely has to. Takes time to pose wherever he can. Irish whips, clotheslines, and a big forearm there, and ultimately uh, hits that running forearm and gets the victory from it because he has the loaded forearm. Sends his opponent post match outside the ring, and then gets annoyed that he is not given the opportunity to continue posing. There is a promo for Giant Gonzalez and The Undertaker in an upcoming situation, internationally speaking. And of course, Giant Gonzalez put him down at the WrestleMania. Unfinished business between Undertaker and Gonzalez. Thankful that I never saw one of those matches live. Former WWF, 3Ws that is, champion Bob Backlund here, still trying to do the babyface thing. In 1993, he had come back around the fall of 92, September-October timeframe. And Backlund, of course, a 6-year champion from 78 to 83. The guy who was the guy before Hogan, meaning just in terms of built around. Lots of arm drags by Bob, lots of super, attentiveness, stays on the arm bar, arm drags, gets everything he can, gets a bridging pin and a 1-2-3, does Bob Backlund. There is a promo for a rematch series with the Mega Maniacs, Hogan and Beefcake, versus Money Incorporated. Again, that's the summer international tour that's supposed to run through Germany, among other things. And basically, they reiterate a lot of the stuff, including but not limited to, everything there, including but not limited to Hogan talking about the titanium plates for Brutus's face. They recap the WrestleMania 9 deal, and actually this is the 3rd of March for whatever reason, because I read the date backwards. Date was done in international form. They're plugging WrestleMania 9, and a lot of what I said doesn't necessarily still apply, but it's the same basic stuff. Obviously, Tatanka and Shawn Michaels is promoted. Tatanka says he's been in there with Michaels before, wants to get the Intercontinental Championship. Hennig wonders if Luger has the necessary tools to be show or go. Basically, Crush is on the beaches of Hawaii saying he's being sick of being called a pineapple head by Doink. They are going to wrestle at WrestleMania 9. Doink is in an enhancement match here. Ultimately, that doesn't bode too well for him, well, for his opponent anyway. Doink at this point still Matt Bourne, the original Doink. Probably the best work with the gimmick at any point. Well, not even probably, definitely the best work with the gimmick at any point. And Doink tries to get as much of a advantage as he possibly can, snaps the man over with some suplexes. Doink hits the stump puller and gets a victory with that level of submission. Not exactly something you'd see a lot of. Beverly Brothers here, Bo and Blake Beverly, who are finishing up around this time, although Tito Santana and Virgil, who first teamed at the end of 91, are teaming here. Match is given about 8 minutes, maybe a little less. Lots of heel work by the Beverlys, drop kicks by Virgil. Virgil manages to get every advantage he can. Beverly's beg off, do a lot of complaining. Meanwhile, Virgil hits a crossbody from the top or the second rope on the inside and manages to get advantages. Cut off the ring on the Beverly Brothers do Santana and Virgil here, and ultimately that leads to an eventual advantage for them. Several arm bars, arm drags, and the like. Santana, by this point in 93, beginning to come to an end. cut off by the Beverly Brothers. Some cheating and adversarial stuff, knee to the spine and that. But the Beverly Brothers are unable to get a full advantage, although they do things like hot shot, uh, the into the throat with Virgil, and it's there. Beverly Brothers continue the double team assault, cutting the ring off on Virgil. Actually, for the time, worth a tag team match going out of your way to see, especially when, I'm sorry, but tag wrestling in terms of working as a team, really, really dead in the modern era. Santana comes back in off a hot tag, gets a roll up 1, 2, 3, and gets a victory for his team with a small package. That will close us for today. We'll be back with some other stuff, I'm sure. Also, tonight, the AEW Dark review and the Impact review as well. But stay right there. We got more action coming at you.